How's it going, everyone? We're back today with more Blue Protocol, another class impressions, this time for the Blade Warden class. And I'm joined by 26 as he's been the one playing it while I've been watching with envy, looking at you play this class. How are you doing, 26? Tell us a little bit about your experience, your leveling and whatnot of the class.
So I've had the best experience leveling this class. If you want a class that's probably going to be the easiest to level up with, this is it. It's just got sustainability. It's meant to be a tank boy, but this class puts out the damage. So I feel like a lot of people are going to enjoy this one. It's a parry heavy focused class. If you're a Monster Hunter player and you like Charge Blade, then this might be the class for you. What do you think of it, Paradise? I know you said that you're jealous with envy, but from the outside perspective, like, what do you think?
I've played Foe Breaker, which I love, by the way, and Spell Warden, which I was really starting to enjoy as I leveled up. But I've been watching you play this from the beginning, and like I said, that I say envy for a reason, because at first I was like, oh, you're just like the tank archetype, you know, it's a sword and shield. It can't be that good, right? No, you're putting out damage, you're putting out CC, you've got sustainability, you've got self-heals, party heals, buffs. You got flashy attacks as well. This is something I hate in MMOs with melee classes, when all you do is like slash and you don't have any spectacle or pizzazz to the skills. But you got lightning on your weapon right now, so you got like amazing looking lightning slashes. You've got abilities that do really cool things that will go over like a giant shield wall of that protects your party members. You've got other moves that like stun. You've got big flashy holy damage AoEs, or what we think is holy damage. So from an outside perspective, initially I was like kind of discounting the Blade Warden, or the Aegis Fighter as it was called in the past. Now it's Blade Warden. And from seeing you play it, I've been like, wow, I've been jealous, because you've been putting out damage, you've got sustain, you're tanky, you can shield attacks, you can do counter attacks and stuff like that. So this is definitely a class that I think people should not sleep on, because I was definitely sleeping on it to begin with. But run us through your attacks. I know there's like directional inputs and combos that you can tell us about, and then after that we can go through the abilities.
Yeah, so the depth of combat in Blue Protocol is a bit more varied than if you're just looking at it in videos and thinking that there's only one attack or whatever. If you're just looking at the UI and you're just like, oh, there's this left mouse button. You actually have directional inputs as well. So you've got like, this is my right directional input, and this is one that will CC enemies and push them back if I attack them with it, which is pretty cool. Then the forward one does a thrust. My default one is just a 4-hit combo slash, with the last hit doing like massive damage. And then the back does like this shield kind of parry shield shave move that we don't actually know what it does like properly, because it's all in Japanese at the moment and we're all figuring it out. But there you have it, like 4 different attacks. You actually have a jump attack as well that you can just do, like a jump slap if you put in both buttons at the same time, which is also cool. Which I found you can actually jump over enemies like this and go bam, and like, look at that.
Wait,
yeah, bind him.
It procced bind when you did that.
That's huge.
So that's pretty cool. So it literally like immobilizes him when you hit him with the ground slam.
So just going over those abilities though, most of the time I am actually just using just my core attack, which is just the normal standard combo, just because it does like a bunch of damage. But if you have your shield up and you block the shield, you can actually parry it and do like some chunky damage to things as well.
I'm so jealous of that.
And that's like time based essentially. I'm not proccing it properly here, but you can see it. I did it on the first one.
So just run me through. You've got a bar on the left with a shield icon.
Yeah.
So every time you get hit, I can see that going down.
That can actually break as well.
So run me through that mechanic.
So it's just more damage that your shield takes, the more, the less like shield health you have, and it will just break after a while. And then you won't get access to all your moves if your shield basically breaks and you're running around like a chicken. You're just like in the dungeon. So you're going to make sure that you manage that bar and that you're not taking too much damage. There is a few moves that will give you back your shield gauge and all of that stuff. But yeah, for the abilities though, the abilities are really like cool. There's one ability that I've just not taken off my bar at all, because it's just too useful. It's this stun. You can actually do it in the air, and it just leaves the enemies like immobilized for a while, which is really cool. One of my most damaging attacks is this E ability that I have on at the moment. It sends out a double kind of holy attack slash If I double press it, it will send out the slash. It does a bunch of damage. I only hit one hit there, but it's really cool. You can see here I've taken damage. I've got like a little replenish, regen. I think that benefits teammates, right, Paradise?
I gotta jump in because that definitely was buffing me when I was in your party and I was nearby, and that is a huge ability because not all classes have access to a self-heal or some kind of way to regen, because you don't passively regen in this game. You have to go back to town or to a campfire and wait for your health to go up. So having that just as a button, especially if it works on party members, which I'm pretty sure you've given that to me in the party before, is absolutely massive. It means you can stay out questing longer, your sustain is higher. It's so big, even down to your stun move, which is a really simple like shield bash stun. Having that just means that you're not taking, you know, a couple hits off the monster, so you can just quest for longer without having to go back, which overall means that you can level faster.
Yeah, definitely. And then the last move that I've got on my bar, just for my standard moves, is just an AoE holy circle that does damage over time. And it's like really good, but the combos are just, you can just like slash away and just have fun here, basically. And it's just like a bunch of damage that you can
what's the ultimate move?
So the ultimate move basically puts you into a powered up state where you won't take any damage. You can just like, well, you'll take damage, but the damage will be like greatly reduced, and you can go around just like boss things. Unfortunately, these guys have come around and killed all the enemies in the area, but let's go find this guy. One of the things I really like,
it's like a Super Saiyan button, damage reduction, self-healing, probably some other buffs that we don't even know about as well, and it looks cool because you're like literally Super Saiyan 3, like golden.
One of the things I really like about Blue Protocol is that you can do a lot of the abilities in the air as well, in addition to on the ground. So if I look on here, I can actually do my like shield charge towards the enemy. I missed, but you can see most of the abilities can actually be like executed in the air as well. Even my like down to my heal attack can be executed in the air, meaning that you can create like different dodges and stuff when enemies are actually attacking you, which is just huge. But yeah. It's really cool.
Definitely, because jumping can actually jump over enemy attacks so that they miss. But also, and we were talking about this the other day, you can actually jump and do like your self buff, which kind of removes the start lag of the move. So once you land, you've immediately casted it and can attack again. So there's different like minor things that definitely work in the class there. But if you pull up the menu, you can show us the previews of a couple of the other skills that you don't have active. And you can see here, this is a daunting screen, right, for any new player. It's all in Japanese, but you've got abilities on the left, ultimate top middle, perks at the bottom middle and bottom right, and basic attack and blocking on the top right. But let's just go through the abilities, because that's what interests me, at least from the outside. So just show us a few of the other cool ones, or just interesting ones here in the previews and that alternate version.
So if you're looking at the different colors, basically the purple is the shielded ones, the green ones are kind of like your utility ones, and then like the blue ones are your healing that you can get as well. So one of the really cool abilities that we actually have is this like, I'm looking for it now, this massive shield that you actually get that can just tank damage. You can just put the shield up, and it's such a good like support ability for your team. You just put it up, and then you can just like tank damage for a while things attack you in like dungeons or whatever. And you can see here on one of the ults, it actually if the enemy procs it, it actually causes damage to them and kind of like more knockback as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how this game progresses once you get to endgame, because there will be like different selections on like how you build your characters and what abilities you have and all of that stuff, which is really cool. Next,
definitely. So you've got a few self buffs. You've got the shield. And what's this one? So
this one's a bind. So a lot of the moves do have like some form of like CC to them. So this one I can just throw out a bind that will restrict the enemy from actually moving towards us. So if there's like a difficult enemy, I've got this and the stun that I can utilize in a way as well. But let's just quickly go through all of the abilities that I remember, because a lot of these I'm not going to remember which ones. So this is my shield bash, which is like a really cool one. We just go through, stun the enemy. Awesome ability. This is one, probably my favorite ability that I have. This is the double slash. I haven't actually seen the alternate versions of it, so this is my first time seeing the alternate versions. Hopefully it does something cooler. Wow, it leaves the slashes there in place.
It leaves them.
So that's really cool. I don't know what that one does, but this one's the standard one. Then you have the AoE, I'm guessing this one is. So this is the final version of the AoE. It looks like it lasts for a longer time. does more damage, blah, 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 blah. Really cool. I'm definitely going to use this one a lot, especially in dungeons as well. Oh, this one is a really cool one. It just basically leaves a bubble on the floor that reduces the damage taken for anybody standing in the bubble as well. So it's, again, another really cool support ability. For damage abilities, you have this one, which you just run. If you've played Monster Hunter and you've played the Lance, this will remind you of the shield charge on the Lance. You just charge in, and it does damage. If you lock onto the enemies, it's a really good way to use this, basically, because you essentially can just lock onto them and get every single possible tick, as long as you have stamina to really get going. But, oh, look, the ultimate version does a little shield, like, bash at the end, which is really cool. What does this one do? Doesn't look much different, though. Okay, cool.
Sometimes it's hard to know. Like, obviously, we'd have to read the description and translate it. But
whoa!
Oh! I've not seen you do that one before.
I didn't even know I could do that. Is that on the standard as well? No, it's not on the standard. So you level it up.
No, it's the upgraded version.
I was like, what? This move is kind of weak, but now like you can actually get like 3 attacks in it or whatever. And we're actually being attacked.
Oh. Yeah, we're getting beaten up.
Live
demonstration. When you're a menu goblin, which happens to me a lot.
Yeah, let's go back to it.
But tell me, run me through the last few abilities, and then after we've checked these out, I want to know your impressions leveling up on Blade Warden.
Okay, so we did that one, and then this one. I think this one's just like a slam circle that it just sends out a bubble that does damage over time. It looks like it actually taunts the enemies. Maybe is that what it does? Because they get angry?
Yeah, some kind of debuff, definitely.
Yeah. We've looked at this one already. This is the taunt. So if you are trying to fulfill that tank fantasy, this will taunt every enemy in the basic area and just kind of pull them towards you. And then we're back on bind, and then we're back on the other abilities. But as you can see, all the abilities have alternate versions that you can kind of really run through, and I'm guessing that there's going to be like additional like weapons and weapon buffs that you can get as well. You can see attachments here that you can get to kind of really like buff up the different skills as well. So yeah, it's like it's pretty impressive. The old Aegis fighter. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, I agree. Looking from the outside at playing other classes, I went in thinking, oh, he's just the tank, and I've come out thinking you can use survivable, you're putting out damage, looks fun and flashy to play, really cool, well-rounded class. But in as few words as possible, what was your leveling experience, 2-6?
My leveling experience was really good. I didn't really find like I had any trouble. If I went into a dungeon or anything like that, I felt like I always had a shield to kind of really protect me. I was putting out enough damage. I know that the class feels good when I don't want to actually play any of the other classes. Like, when you get into an MMO and you're just like, actually, this is really enjoyable.
You find
the one. And I didn't necessarily feel like I was going to gel with this. I thought I was going to play the Twin Striker, but this one's really cool for anybody that likes like the parry-based playstyles. Obviously, it's being a beta. The latency's a bit higher. I can't wait to try this out when it's like more 1-for-1 on the servers. But yeah, it's super fun.
Definitely. Guys, hit that like button if you enjoy these class previews, and let us know in the comments what class you would like to see next from us, or if there's any other Blue Protocol stuff that you want to know about, hit us up in the comments and we'll try our best to get that to you guys. And I have to say, this is looking like an amazing class. I might have to jump on it. But the 2 videos on screen, we think you'll really enjoy. If you did enjoy this one, definitely check them out if you haven't already, because if you like this video, you're probably going to like these ones too. And then tell us what you think after watching in the comments down below.